Bamboozled is a party-style bluffing game. Players take turns and must get a higher roll than the previous player. If they don't, they have to bluff. Get caught bluffing and you get a strike. 3 strikes and you're out. Last one standing is the winner. To play Bamboozled, separate the 16 strike cards from the 26 action cards. Shuffle the action cards and deal 1 to each player. Place the remaining cards in 2 separate stacks in the middle of the table. The starting player rolls both dice inside the cup, making sure to keep the results hidden from the other players. You can choose to score your roll by placing the numbers shown in either order. For example, if you roll a 4 and a 1, you can choose the score to be 14 or 41. After choosing your score, you will pass the dice clockwise to the next player and tell them your score. When passing the dice, you can either tell the truth about what you rolled or bluff and say you got something different. When accepting the dice, the next player can either accept what you rolled or attempt to call your bluff. If they accept the score as stated, they will now pick up the dice and roll, and must either tie or beat the score accepted from the previous player and pass the dice to the next player. Or they could attempt to call a bluff. If they attempt to call the bluff, they reveal what was actually rolled, and if the previous player was bluffing, the bluffer takes a strike card. If the previous player told the truth, then the player to call the bluff takes a strike card. Once any player gets a strike card, the score resets to 0. The player that received the strike card starts the next round by rolling the dice. The lowest value dice score is non-matching dice, starting at 12 going up to 65. A higher number beats a lower number. Any non-matching dice are beaten by any matching dice or doubles. Doubles start at double 1s and go up to double 6s. A higher double beats a lower double. Any double is beaten by jackpot, which is 21. A jackpot cannot be beaten, it can only be tied. While playing, players may bluff during any turn, even if they are starting the round. But players must bluff if they don't tie or beat the score from the previous player. When a player successfully bamboozles another player, they get to draw an action card. A bamboozle is when the player receiving the dice accepts the score as stated, but the previous player was bluffing. Action cards or bamboozle cards help players avoid strikes or change the value of the dice. Each player starts with 1 action card but can earn additional cards by bamboozling other players. A player can only hold 2 action cards at a time, but once a player uses a card, they can earn another card. If a player already has 2 cards, but they successfully bamboozle another player, they may draw a 3rd card and keep the 2 that they like the best and discard the 3rd. There are 2 types of action cards: cards that are played after a player has rolled their dice, and cards that are played before a player rolls the dice. Each card shows you when it can be used. We will quickly go through each card and explain what they do. If you would like more information on each card, refer to the rules included in the game. The jackpot, double, and up-down cards are played after the player has rolled and is passing the dice to the next player. These cards allow a player to change the value of the dice rolled to increase the score. After cards do not have to be used or revealed if the next player doesn't call a bluff. This means if you get lucky, you may be able to use them multiple times. If a bluff is called and the card is used, the next player continues the game with the score created by the card. The jackpot card allows you to score an immediate jackpot, which means changing whatever was rolled to 21. The double card allows you to select one of the rolled dice and count both as matching dice. For example, if you rolled a 4 and a 2, the double card would allow you to change the dice to double 4s or double 2s. The up-down card allows you to change the value of 1 die by 1 number in either direction. For example, if you rolled a 5 and a 1, you could change the 5 to a 4 or 6, or the 1 to a 2. The Fresh Start, Reverse, My Bad, Skip, and Revive cards are used before a player rolls for their turn. The Fresh Start card will reset the value of the dice to 0, no matter what was rolled by the previous player. The Reverse card changes the direction of play. Instead of continuing the game clockwise, the dice would be passed to the player going the opposite direction, and play will continue counterclockwise until another reverse card is used. The Revive card allows a player to return a strike card to the draw pile as long as they already have one. If a player just received their 3rd strike, but they have a Revive card, they may immediately use the card to remain in the game. The Skip card allows a player to skip their own turn and force the next player in line to make the decision to accept the score or call a bluff. The My Bad card allows a player to avoid taking a strike if they call a bluff but the previous player wasn't bluffing. Once a player uses an action card, they must place it in the discard pile. Once a player has 3 strikes, they are out of the game. The last player standing is the winner. If you have any additional questions that come up during play, please refer to the rules or contact us at support@bluewasatch.com.